Illinois childcare providers and early childhood advocates are raising some concerns over a possible $1 billion freeze in funding that could impact families across the state. Now, while a judge has temporarily blocked that freeze, uncertainty remains over what happens next. Well, News 3's Waylon Walls-Parker explains.
Officials with Malone's Early Learning Center says if federal funding for childcare is suspended, most of the families using their services would be impacted.
An enrollment of 186 children, and probably about 145 of those children are get some kind of subsidy one way or another.
Malone's executive director Lee Eklund says federal childcare funding plays a critical role in keeping doors open and parents at work.
At least 70% of our funding really becomes a concern.
On Friday, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order halting the Trump administration's funding freeze. Eklund says, despite the ruling, the uncertainty is a big concern.
Until we know for 100% that the funding is not going to be stopped, there's always that concern in the back of your mind, especially for the parents.
Lori Morrison-Frichtel with the Illinois Head Start Association says the potential freeze doesn't just affect childcare centers. It also impacts Head Start programs, which often rely on childcare assistance funding to extend services beyond what federal dollars cover.
It helps them create a longer day, which the federal government doesn't fund for us. So we really depend on the childcare assistance program.
Both childcare providers and early childcare advocates warn the ripple effect could reach beyond the classroom.
You stop funding for subsidized children, you're going to stop the workforce.
If the freezes were to move forward, Eklund says changes wouldn't be immediate, but they would be unavoidable.
Unfortunately, that drastic changes would be at the cost of the parents that cannot afford childcare.
Officials with Malone's Early Learning Center says they will continue following what's happening with the pending funding freezes, but for now, it's learning as usual. In Carterville, Waylon Walls-Parker, News 3.
In a statement, the Illinois Department of Human Services says that it is gratified by the court's decision and does not anticipate that funding will be impacted immediately. Now, the agency says that Illinois, with the help of Attorney General Kwame Raoul, will continue fighting for uninterrupted funding for childcare as well as other critical social service programs.